Strike it to the east, strike it to the west. Back in my day, we didn't have computers.
Everything around here is fucking magnets.
Just make sure you get rid of the drippings. Yeah, get it out.
He's all about the dry jacket.
No wonder your balls is hurting.
Keep going. Keep going.
Just a swinging.
No, we could have done this way, Xavier. Yep. All right, we started running some wiring. That's ugly, but either way, we got it ran, and part of the harness is ran underneath here. We got a bunch of stuff labeled that we're not gonna use. Everything plugged up we believe we need to. Got the computer over there. And then, so now, before we do a test start, I gotta hook up the fuel lines and replace this sending unit because I broke the little nipple off right here. And then, let's see, I gotta replace the fuel hose right here that went to the filter. And then we should be able to do a test start. So I'm gonna replace this real quick. I don't want to get any of this stuff inside the tank. There's the old one. I was having trouble getting that one to disconnect. This one has a little brown piece, just like the other quick disconnects. This one didn't. I don't know how you're supposed to do that. But I just broke it and then it just pulled out, but otherwise it was not coming out. I squeezed it every which way I could and it just broke. So it is what it is. All right, let's see here. So we go like this. That's about how that goes. Got a new float. I mean, I wish this was disconnectable, which I mean technically is, but I don't really want to mess with solder on the wires. But I might keep this around in case I have any issue out of this float, because then I can just unsolder them and just use this bottom plastic piece in this whole setup. But you know, we'll try this out, see how it goes. Came with new nuts, O-ring, and some of these new fittings, but I'm not exactly sure how or what you would use these for, because they don't fit in there. So maybe it's the outside lines, I don't know. I'll have to take a look. I'm gonna move this over because it uses the quick disconnect. The other one, it didn't. So I guess I'm just gonna slip it on there. Clean the old one up a bit. It is considerably bigger than the older one, so that's just simply the wrong one. So this is definitely a hack job, but I'll live with it. And I won't tell nobody if you don't. How about that? If you've ever done one of these, you know why I didn't pull the fuel pump with that. You gotta basically have a long tool and blindly guess how to release it, or stick your hands in there. And I didn't want to stick my hands in there again because I've done a couple of these and they're not fun when you got to do the actual pump. Those are longer. The new bolts are longer. I'm not going to use them. I feel like it's just going to break. So I try to tighten it up. So yeah, the O-ring and the new bolts are junk, so that's cool. This connector don't actually go in, so that's cool. I guess I need to buy 2 new of these connectors. All right, real quick, I lost the steering wheel nut and I had to buy a new one, well, a used one, from Moses. Shout out Moses. He's on the Datsun 320 group on Facebook. It was 12 bucks, which a little expensive for one nut, but let's be honest, most of us have paid more for a good nut. All right, I got all the fuel lines replaced. Replace them. Replace the return line right here. Replace the fuel filter lines, as you can see here. That took about probably almost an hour to replace them all. The old fuel lines were stuck. That sucked. I'd rather pull this cab again than replace one more fuel line. So now, a little bit of wiring with the positive and negative terminals, and we're gonna do a test start. All right, I got the new fuel pump connectors wired in, and then we should be able to just hook these up and it should start, theoretically. No bueno. I got enough.
Told you. You're something stupid. Well, I don't know why I shut off, but it started. That's all I know.
Oh man,
Blowing shit everywhere up here.
how?
I don't know. Maybe coolant?
Yeah, that's gotta be what it is.
Or that line that's staying on that you bypassed.
Yep.
So, whole fucking time it was that damn latch connector.
Yeah. It's funny because I've redone it.
You redone it, but you probably done the same thing I did and went down instead of going up to latch it.
All right, so the issue we were having was a no crank, no start. I had no security light on. So we first tried to go and look at the security system. Everything checked good with that. I started plugging in tons of stuff, connecting over probably 14 different grounds. Still nothing. We started playing with different ECUs. I had a spare one, was getting nothing at all. I started messing with the OBD connector because I was getting no communication at all from the computer to the scanner. And that didn't produce any results. And then finally, we went through and reconnected literally every connector, but this one, reconnected it 4 times. And on the 4th time, finally, my brother reconnected it and it just snapped in better than it ever did before. And everything worked. So that's what it was. And next is going to be the brakes. So I even, as you can see right here, we plugged in the ABS just to see if that fixed it. We had all kinds of unnecessary stuff plugged in just to see if we could get any change in it. I went through every single fuse, pulled it out, swapped them around. Nothing changed at all. It ended up being that connector. So next, we're gonna work on the brakes. So we'll see you then.